We are mirrors of each other. Welcome to another episode of Mastermind Bites. My name is Fong. I'm an entrepreneur, business strategist, real estate investor, speaker, and also a best-selling author. And every single day, I help others unlock potentials and guide them to succeed. Today on Mastermind Bites, I get to feature another incredible individual. And the reason why I have this show is because over the last few years, I've been very lucky and fortunate to meet some incredible people, some celebrities, some masters of their skill sets, athletes, CEOs, and got to learn from them, hear their stories, and just be in their presence to understand how they became successful. Taking those lessons learned and applying it to my daily life and also my business life in order for me to grow and improve. And I just wanted to take this opportunity to share some of those stories, some of those tips and tricks to all of you. So for today's Mastermind Bites, I get to feature the amazingly talented James Marsters. Now, this guy is so great when it comes to acting. It's just incredible what he does. He is an actor. He's a musician. He's a voice actor. He's also a comic book writer, and he's done so many different things. And he's just one of those people who is so multi-talented. And when you watch him perform his role in Buffy the Vampire Slayer as Spike, he does an incredible job. From there, he's also done Angel and also Torchwood, and recently he's also done Runaways. Each and every single time, he absolutely captures that scene and captures the camera. Now, what's very interesting was that he actually found his acting bug and that itch by playing Eeyore in grade 4 in one of his plays, and he's never lost sight of becoming an actor. And from there on, he kept on progressing to who we know today as a very great, talented actor. Now, getting to meet him, he was very fun to talk to. He has a lot of great tips, lots of great stories. And there's 5 things I really want to express because these 5 things really reapply to our daily lives. Number 1 is that you need to be very focused and committed to your roles. Number 2 is finding right people in the right spots. The right people may not be the right people because they're not as talented or they're not the experts. So you have to find the right people and the experts for certain roles. Number 3 is that we are all mirrors of each other. We are all learning from each other. Number 4 is that when you can take complicated things and simplify it, that is intelligence. And then number 5, there is no competition. So we'll dive into a little bit more detail on each one of these. Going back to number 1, finding that focus and that commitment. When he first got the gig of Spike on Buffy, it was one of the biggest breaks that he's gotten, and he was very grateful for that role, and he just really wanted to do a very good job in that role. The character originally was not supposed to last for 7 years, but because of the fan base, because of the storyline, because of how people liked his character, they actually kept on him on season after season after season. So when he first started playing that character, he just goes, you know what, it's not the best way of doing it. He didn't like what he was doing. From that point before, he was basically a stage actor. And he was applying the stage acting experience into that character, which didn't work out very well for him. He just didn't think it was doing it justice. So he found different methods of doing it. He found different ways of playing that actor. And eventually he goes, you know what, I need to use method acting. And when you're choosing method acting to play a character, you're really diving yourself into that role. You're really committed to that role. You're really focused on that role. And he says that throughout those 7 years, he was very lonely. He closed himself off. He did not hang out with the cast. He would usually just sit in the corner himself, relax, and just kind of rest. But he would never really social with people because his character is not that type of personality. So he really immersed himself into the role. Looking back, he did say that during those period of time, he was a very lonely person. He's not at his happiest, but he wanted to be true to that role. He wanted to play that role well and to the best of his abilities. And that was the way of doing it. And sure enough, it worked because lots of people enjoyed his portrayal of that character. And that's why they kept him on for 7 years. Now, another example of how committed he was, well, as you can see here, he had to bleach his hair to very like white blonde. So in order to do that, they actually had to bleach his hair for every single episode. And that means bleaching his hair every 8 days. Now on the bottle, it actually tells them it's only safe to bleach your hair every 6 to 8 weeks. They were doing it every 8 days, which is not good for your hair. They also even told him, you know what, after playing this role for so many years and bleaching your hair so many times, You may not have hair. It's probably going to damage your hair for your entire life. He actually had scars. He was sore and all that kind of stuff. It was very painful. But you know what? He needed to commit to that role. And he goes, you know what? I spent 14 years of my life working on acting, trying to get a role. I got this. I'm not going to give it up. I'm committed. Let's do it. So he goes, I could buy hair. So he kept on pushing. He was committed and focused to play a good character, and he maintained that character for a very, very long time. Number two is that you have to find expertise and the right placement for that expertise. He's also a director, and he was casting for a show, for a movie of his, and somebody came up to him and goes, okay, do you want a great actor, or do you want somebody who fits that role and fits that character? And eventually, it was kind of debated that he should choose the great actor to play that role, because that great actor can save you time, can make that performance tight, can make that performance even better, just like he did with his role as Spike. So the thing is, sometimes finding that person who fits the role may not be the right person because that person doesn't have the expertise. So when in business, sometimes you can go, you know what, it's more convenient for this person to come and do the renovations, but that person may not be the expert in those skill sets to do the renovations. So it's probably better for you to go with somebody that's less convenient, but is an expert in what they do. Same with doing events, same with buying, partnering up on different deals and businesses. You have to find those people who are experts at what they do, because they will fit into those roles better than somebody that's more convenient or just plays that part well. So you have to find a way of finding the expertise and putting them into the right spots. Another example of finding the expertise are little things like when expert and great actors act, they actually know their lines inside and out. And once you know your lines inside and out, everything else can be explored. How do you hold a glass? How do you put in the emotion? And you're not thinking about the lines all the time. So great actors have that ability to take what they know, make it second nature, know it so well that they can now make everything else seem natural. And that's what you want. You want those experts. You want those experts who don't have to constantly think about what's the next step, what's the next step. But being able to do that role so well because they are the experts, so that everything else could come in as creativity, could come in as better solutions, and they're able to think outside of that box sometimes. So finding those expertise is absolutely integral in success. Number three, he did mention that we're all mirrors of each other. And we're not just a mirror of ourselves, looking at the mirror, seeing our reflections and asking ourselves, are we doing the right thing? But we should be also looking at what other people are doing. And if we reflect on each other, then we're able to grow and learn. What somebody else does that is good, that is not good, you can learn from that. What you do that is good, that's not good, could be learned by somebody else. So we're all reflecting on each other's actions. And if we can take all those actions, all those learnings, we can all grow together. And that's something he kind of stresses a lot, because we can't just be a singular being. We have to be able to work with each other and reflect off of each other and learn from each other. Number four, I thought this was a very, very interesting take on what intelligence means. And he says that intelligence is basically being able to take something complex, something hard, and limiting it down to one simple thing, one simple sentence, one simple thought, so that you can go, oh, that's what you mean. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So the thing is, this basically talks about what less is more. If you can look at something and explain it to somebody else in simple terms, and they get it right away, that gives you that extra edge. That allows you to express ideas better. That allows you to get more trust from people. That makes people rely on you more. So having that intelligence to bring things down from complex to simple is a great skill set to develop, and something that you could always learn on doing. And then finally, number five is that there is no competition. Everybody is doing their own thing. Everybody is doing their own way, and they all have their own message to share. Okay, it may not be exactly the same. So stop comparing yourself and stop competing with other people. Because if we're putting ourselves into an environment where we're all collaborating with each other, where we're all learning from each other, that's how we can all grow. kind of goes back to number 3, where we're all mirrors of each other and reflecting off each other. That's why there's no competition. And especially in art, in acting, there is no competition when you approach things that way. When you approach things where you can learn from each other, when you could collaborate with each other, there is no competition. Somebody might be a great actor, but may not have been able to play his role of Spike just as good as he, because that's how he played it. That's how he envisioned it. And that was the way that that character was accepted. So the thing is, there's no competition. And when you do it that way, you're able to relax a little bit more, and you're able to be, true to yourself. Don't do it for somebody else, do it for you. If you truly like the things that you're doing, do it. Okay. Don't let somebody else tell you, don't do it this way, don't do it that way. Do it for yourself. And as long as you love what you're doing, that's all that matters. So those are the 5 things I got from Mr. James Marsters. And it was absolutely incredible meeting him, hearing his stories, and got to learn about all this stuff. Again, number 1 is you have to be focused and committed to your roles and your mission. Number 2, finding that expertise to put them into the roles that you need them to be into. Number 3, we're all mirrors of each other. We're all reflecting off each other so we can grow together. Number 4, take complex things, simplify it. That is intelligence. And then number 5, there is no competition. We need to grow together. We need to work together. Do what you love. Do it your way. Spread that message your way. So those are the 5 things once again. And I hope you enjoyed this episode on James Marsters. If you did, go back and watch some of my other episodes on Mastermind Bites. And if you like this show, we have a lot of other shows. The Peak Potential Success Show, the Unlocking the Mind Behind Make More Work Less, and of course, the Make More Mind Bites that's up every single week. And until next time, today is the day to unlock your peak potential. Thank you very much for your comments, your likes, your subscriptions. I love seeing those comments. I'll see you later.